Hey, my true tellers, how are you guys doing? Welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk. Guys, look, I started to do this video in my bed, but the Holy Spirit say, come out, come out. I see my girl is in the house. Country girl Queena, she says, good evening, Unapologetic Real Talk and True Tellers. And if I butcher your name, charge it to my heart. Namaste Z. Yes, and also yes, my girl is welcome. So guys, welcome everyone for coming in. Real talk with your girl, Lady D. This right here is a spare of the moment. I had to pray before I come on, because I truly believe that the Most High God, He truly speaks to me, and this right here is a prophetic word that I truly believe that He has given to me. So I want to go ahead and release it out into the atmosphere when it comes to all the stuff that we saw. Kanye West, Yeezy, whatever name that he goes by. This right here, this is a lot. And as you can see right here by the question, what would Malcolm X, the Honorable late Malcolm X would be here today, what would he say when it comes to all this right here? That's the question. Hey, Debbie Bailey. Debbie Bailey is in the house. She says, hey, Lady D. Guys, welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk. Let me see if I can go ahead and get way in the back, guys, because as you can see right here, I'm in my natural state, but it should be happy to be natural, okay? So let me see if I can go ahead and pull this back. I wanted to go also talk about a little bit when it comes to Jasmine Crockett, also Cory Booker. I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it, but I really wanted to go ahead and talk about that as well. So let me see if I can go ahead and push myself up a little bit, guys. Just go ahead and bear with me. So yes, guys, welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk. Let me go ahead and read the copyright disclaimer because I am going to play a little clips. I not too familiar with this content creator, but I want to make sure that we go ahead and give him a shout out. And if I'm butchering his name, charge it to my heart. His name is DJ Academic. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a little small snippet, just a snippet. I went ahead and butchered it up. You can go ahead on his channel, DJ Academic, and I might be pronouncing his name wrong, but he went ahead and he had this exclusive content interview that he did with Yeezy. So shout out to DJ Academic. Okay, so let me go ahead and read the copyright disclaimer, and we're gonna go ahead and get on with my commentary. So the copyright disclaimer is under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. So again, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. This content right here, this live that I'm coming on with, is going to be more of a teaching, and also when it comes to spiritual warfare, because I truly believe that this year right here, what I've been telling you guys about the ninth universal year, I truly believe that this right here is what I call a spiritual warfare. And as you can see right here, like I said, when it comes to all the stuff, right, it's nothing that is going to be hidden. Everything is going to go ahead and be revealed. And if you think that I am going to put my foot on this brother's neck, you got another thing coming, okay? So also I see Nikki Ridge, she's in the house. She says, hello, unapologetic real talk and mod. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming in. This right here is 6 p.m. My girl, country girl, she loved this time. I'm early bird. I like to come on around about 11 a.m. or maybe 1 o'clock p.m. 5 and 6, trust me, I be watching Lifetime or something like that. So guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. So as you can see right here, I know you guys saw the interview that Kanye West, he wants to be called Yee. He did an interview with a content creator by the name of DJ Academic. And some of the stuff that when Kanye come out with, I think it's more of a shock value. That's how I look at it, more of a shock value, because this right here, it gets a lot of people talking, especially I had felt in a spirit when he came out and he talked about Beyonce and Jay-Z, their son, the one that they don't show, how, he came out, which I'm not going to go ahead and say what he said, but I also think that was a shock value, because sometimes, especially when it comes to what I call social media can be a beast, and people, they gravitate when it comes to gossip and drama, and they just don't let off. It's like bees on a honey. And I felt like in the spirit when he came out of nowhere, when he talked about Beyonce and Jay-Z son, I think that what he was trying to do is get the attention off of how we was uh, talking about Jay-Z and this stuff that was going on with someone has accused him of raping her. And once he came out, Kanye West, that's how I feel in the spirit. Once Kanye came out of nowhere, and said what we've been talking about for so long. So it wasn't new to us, and it wasn't new to Beyonce and them, because they already know that people been questioning and asking where the son, they showed the daughters, but they never showed the son. And when Kanye came out there, out of nowhere with that, I think it was just a distraction. That's how I feel in the spirit, to get you guys off of Jay-Z when it came to this young lady was trying to accuse Jay-Z of raping her. That's how I feel in the spirit, okay? So guys, like I say, when it comes to this channel is not for everyone. This is for critical thinkers. It's for people that like I said, more they can see things that what the normal eyes don't see. Like I said, I take the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. So this channel is not for everyone. If you think that you here to get your ears tickled, you got another thing coming. I'm the type of person, when I see the 99 goes one way, I goes the other way. So this is where I'm going. I'm going the other way. Okay. So I want to go ahead and talk about how I saw all this right here in the spirit. The first thing when I was watching that live, I don't know if it was a live, that interview. It came on my notification, and the first person that came into my spirit was Malcolm X. Was Malcolm X? Believe it or not, Malcolm X. Because today we don't really have any leaders, and we already know when uh, the sheep does not have a leader, the sheep scatters. back then when we had great leaders. You didn't see all this stuff that you see today. And to me, I'm not a type of person that I will put my foot on someone's neck when I know that that person is already down. Because first of all, I'm gonna break it down as I always say when I come on here. I'm gonna break it down where even a child can understand. So as I said, this right here, this is what I call a teaching moment. This is a teaching moment. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. This is a teaching moment. When I saw Kanye West with that Klansman suit, I also saw a lot of comments where people were saying we need to go ahead and cancel him. He also said that once he finished with the interview, he's going straight to, I think it was Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me, guys. If that's when he said Japan or China. He was going straight there, which God also had put. When it comes to China, he put that in my spirit as well, because like I said, when it comes to the black man is just like when we open up what we call the Bible. The black man has nowhere to lay his heads. It's the foxes have a hole, but the black man has nowhere to lay his head until we wake the hell up. Some of you guys might catch this by tomorrow, because we can go ahead and talk about China, which the Most High God also had put that in my spirit, especially when it comes to the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation is revealing itself right now. We are in that book of Revelation right now. And when I thought of if he said China, I don't know if he said China or Japan, but like I say, I'm gonna put them all together. Where when it comes to China, I saw, and I'm gonna talk about it not too much right here, when it talked about that red dragon. And we already know in the book of Revelation how it talked about that dragon that is going to come out of the sea. And we already know when it comes to China and Japan, them, they always, have symbols of dragons. Okay, so he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. Like I said there and say, when it comes to this channel is not for everyone. Okay, so this right here is for critical thinkers, because like I said, when it comes to the black man has nowhere to lay his head because of who he is. So let me go ahead and break it down, give you guys a summary of how I went ahead when it comes to Kanye West and all the stuff that is going on, and how it seems like he went ahead and he spiraled out of control. And he also sat there and said, and I think DJ Academic said the same thing, that they're going to deem him as like Wendy Williams, because we already know Wendy Williams, she's at a place, never did any crime, but she has she had a place where she can't even, pretty much as she say, talk to her family. She can't come out, she's restricted. It's like she's in a prison. And we already know we got so many people right now with mental illness, and they just pass them by like they're garbage. But all of a sudden, when people have a big old huge purse, now they want to go ahead and protect it. And what was shocking when it came to Wendy Williams, when Wells Fargo had got involved with Wendy Williams, where when she wanted to take some of her money out, they went ahead and they called whoever they went ahead and called to get a freeze on her money. And we already know when it comes to Wells Fargo already has a history when it comes to enslaving our people. Okay, like I said, guys, this right here, we about to teach, we about to do some research when it comes to all this right here. So he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying, because like I said, when it comes to this platform not for everyone. Okay, like I said there and say, that's why, when we pray for financial stability, we also have to pray for understanding and knowledge. Okay, let me say it again. When we pray for financial stability, we also have to pray for understanding and knowledge. Okay, because like I said, if you don't have the understanding and you don't have the If you don't have the knowledge, then we're going to have what we see these crafty counselors, these worms, these palmer worms, these locusts, and these caterpillars. What they're going to do is try to come and suck you up dry. Okay. So let me go ahead and talk about this right here. Like I said, this is an education teaching moment when it comes to Kanye West when he was wearing this Klansman suit. And we already know, he a couple of years ago, the man sat there and said that, he was Jesus, So we already know that, he does a lot of stuff to get people attention. And this right here is getting a lot of people attention. Okay. So let's go ahead and break it down when it comes to Klansmen. Okay. So we want to go around and we want to talk about, we're going to go ahead and cancel this man. This man needs to go ahead and he needs to be locked up for wearing a Klansman suit. But I want to tell you guys right now, because see, we don't like to do any research because we like to sit on a soapbox and try to tear down people and allow these people to throw all this stuff in our way, which is all a distraction, but we don't want to do our research. So they know since we don't like to do research, then they can sit there and do anything that they want. But when it comes to the Klansmen still exist today. Don't you know the United States had allowed the Ku Klux Klans to be a non-profit organization? And we know the violence and the terror that they did to our people. Let me say it again. Don't you know when it comes to the Ku Klux Klans that they are a non-profit organization until this day? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That is the only organization that has done so much detestable, got so much blood that is dripping. But it is funded by the United States. Now, we already know we had the Black Panthers. We had so many different Black organizations. Anytime when they see us come together, what they do? They tremble. They dismantle it. But why they never dismantle the Ku Klux Klans? Why they never dismantle that? Tell me why. I'll wait. And we already know that these people had made our lives a living hell. We already know that. And they were openly of what they have done, but they have never been dismantled. See, y'all not going to talk about stuff like this. I'm not going to get an amen for this right here. Because, see, like I said, we don't like to do research. And that's why these people can work overtime on us. So let's go ahead and let me help you a little bit. Okay. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. So let's go ahead and talk about the Ku Klux Klans, which is, KKK. It's a group with a long history in the United States. Why is the Ku Klux Klans a long history in the United States? But the minute when we saw Kanye West put on a Ku Klux Klan's suit, we wants to get this man. He got to lose it. He have lost his mind. He lost his mind. We wants to go in and call the paddy wagon and get this man locked up. But yet we got this organization that has a very long history when it comes to the United States. I bet you some of you guys didn't know that, right? So to clarify your question, it seems you, so let's go ahead and read the Klansmen is not a single unified entity today, but rather a collection of fragment groups. It doesn't matter. Each operate independently. Historically, some of these groups have registered as non-profit organizations. That's all I wanted to go ahead and talk about. Because like I said there and say, they're not going to say, it's a collective, a group. When we come together, they just going to bunch us all together, right? So let's go ahead and talk about how they are now today registered as a nonprofit organization and also have a 501c3 entity. So they can get anything tax-free and everything else, donations and everything, charitable everything. Okay. So this statute is determined. All this right here is by the IRS. So these people are a nonprofit organization and still exists today. Okay. So also it says that it is a Protestant Christianity for or a fraternity group. So we already know when it comes to the Klansmen, these people always call themselves Christian. That's why I don't call myself Christian, because to me, what I see is not the act of God, but the act of a devil. Especially, we know that the ones that how they made our people lives a living hell. Okay, so how can you call yourself a Christian when you sit there and you want to tear down and unalive our people just because of their skin? Make it make sense. But like I said, the blood of Abel is still crying from the grave. We have not forgotten. So that's what I'm trying to get you to see. Like I said, some of the stuff that you see, all we doing is sponging off of something that we don't have no business sponging off. That's why I said, if Malcolm X was here today, what would he say about all this? Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? So let's go ahead and let's continue. Let's continue with all this right here. So, however, it's a legal classification, okay, when it comes to the KKK, okay. Also, it talks about, how they target our people. We know that 1920, 1950, and beyond. They've been targeting our people ever since that we had woke up. Ever since that we had woke up, the minute when we came off of that plantation that they said that and built off of our land, because they are the invaders. They think that when it comes to the United States that it belongs to them. No, we've been here. Like I said, we've been here from the four corners of this earth. We have been here billions of years. If truth be told, they have not been here no more than 600 years. Ouch. But the minute when we came off the plantation and started gaining independence, then they formed what you see a KKK. Back then they was calling the Night Riders. Yes, the police department, the foundation is corrupted. That's how it originated. It first, before it was the police department, it was the Night Riders. Okay, so now you see why you see the way that they act, because like I said, the foundation is corrupt. They can't help what their forefathers was, like I said, it's in their DNA, it's in the fiber of their DNA. Okay, so all this been going on since 1920 to 1950 and beyond. Okay, and they still has the organizations together. Okay, they still have the organization together. Some of them right now, you don't see as they used to be boldly back then, during the Jim Crow era, how they used to be marching, you don't see that anymore, because now all they have to do is put on a uniform. Oops. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. That's why I said there and say, guys, stop setting and helping these people put their foot on our brother's neck. When you see your brothers fall, you pray for them. Okay? Because you already know. When they see one of theirs fall, I promise you, you're not going to see that they coming online and making 101 videos and trying to help put more salt on the wounds. No, they're not going to do that. We got one right now sitting, have the highest job in the United States with 39 felonies, convicted. But the minute when we see one of our brothers or our sisters fall, we there to help put our foot on their neck. See, stuff like this ain't gonna get too many. Ain't gonna get too many amens, Debbie. Ain't gonna get too many amens, but that's all right because the Most High God say, tell it to them anyhow. Now, this is the lie that they want us to believe. Now, you know that's not true right here. They say today estimate the Klansmen no more than 5,000 to 800. Well, they better come to down here in these redneck back of the woods down here, okay? So they trying to make us believe that they don't exist today. They know more than 5,000 to 8,000 Klansmen exist. Who you fooling? Who you fooling? But like I said, they're safe. They don't have to put on a suit anymore. They don't have to put on a hoodie anymore. It would have been best, more likely, for Kanye West to go ahead and put on a blue uniform, okay? He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying, okay? So I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to put all this out so you guys could see exactly where I'm going when it comes to all this right here. So also Kanye West's decision to wear a KKK outfit, as seems in his recent interview with DJ Academic, and it reflected in the cover art for the upcoming album. So I guess it's his album WW3, which, I don't watch all this stuff, but like I said, I'm talking about from a spiritual aspect. Okay, so West has a history of using inflammatory symbols to challenge the norm. In the academic interview, DJ Academic interview, which was on the 30th, he appeared in a custom black KK outfit, and also he had a swastika necklace, and reported said he had a white version too, but avoid wearing it public out of fear of retaliation. So he also had a white one. So it also says that he tied the swastika to his grievance with the Jewish figures in the music industry, claiming they support the unaliving of blacks. This justify his use of this symbol to troll or provoke. So right here in this article right here, it says that the reason why he went ahead and he put it on, because of his grievance, which we already know, when the man was not attacking anyone, but they wants to label everything when he wants to go ahead and take you out as Semitic, anti-Semitic. He was talking about a game, and they went ahead and tied it that he wanted to unalive the Jays. Like I said, certain people, you just can't talk about. But like I said, the devil's alive, because this generation, this is what I call a Joshua generation. This generation is not going to just sit and just allow these people to continue working overtime on him. But we already know when they want to cancel you, what they're going to do. They're going to attach something, especially when it comes to anti-Semitic, because that's what they use. We already know. We broke the story already, how they talked about, if they want to go ahead and cancel you, they're going to label you with stuff like that. So that's exactly what happened when it came to Kanye West, so he couldn't really shake it off, because they tried to attack his finance. This man, he was a billionaire just because, he wanted to be a part of his own company when it comes to Adidas, according to what Kanye West said that he wanted to set in the meetings. If you got a business, don't you want to set at your business, in the meetings, you have the right. You don't even have to ask permission. That is your business. And nobody can tell you, oh, you cannot sit at your own table. So just because, he didn't like how they was running his company, and he voiced the way that, he felt, then they want to go ahead, they want to exclude him out. How can you exclude someone out of their business? And the minute when he came out and he complained who was the masterminds behind all this, then they wanted to go ahead and they wanted to cancel him. But the sad thing about it is that they use our own people to cancel our own people. Half of the people, guys, that's be doing the comments, especially when they don't show their face, half of them is bots. And we sat there and we run with bots and we going to come on our platform and we're going to make 101 videos to sit there and help tear our own people down. Make it make sense. Hey, stylist. Stylist says, hey, Lady D, glad to catch you live. Just got off of work and I'm super happy to catch you live. Thank you very much. I was just watching one of your videos or replay that you had with Dr. Umar Johnson. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like I said, it's time for our brothers. It's time for our brothers to wake up. It's time for us to wake up. Like I said, the stuff that I have uncovered just through research. Like I said, everything right now is at a push of a button. You don't have to even go to a library. You can be right here in the comfort of your home. Right in the comfort of your home. Like I said, it's how far that you are willing to go and dig for that information. The word is only hidden to those that are lost, but it's right there. The only reason why these people always in our business, I was watching, this is my first time ever really sat down and watched it. I went to the movies and watched it. What it is, with Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson. What's the name of that movie? Dag man, what's the name of that movie with Beyonce and I don't watch TV that much. Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson. Well, I was watching how they had came out. This guy had wrote some music, and the minute when he put the music out, the white people, they came and they snatched it, which we already know that's what they do. Remember Elvis Presley? That's what they do. So every time when we get something, they think that they are entitled. They think that they are entitled to everything that we have. So the minute when this man went ahead and bucked against what we call, they don't even want us to say the machine. When he bucked against that, then they want to go ahead and tear the entire house down because they think that they are entitled to everything that we have. But this generation sat there and say, no way. Like I said there and say, if we would shut the door off of these people today, I promise you they wouldn't survive. Because everything most likely they got off of your back. What did our former president, Joe Biden, said? The blacks always have our backs. We always have everybody's backs, but we don't have our own back. We will put our foot on our own people's neck. We will put our foot on our own people's neck. Let me go ahead and play this right quick.
For hundreds of years, we've been the most hated. But within that hatred comes the hypocrisy of loving our culture. You've made trillions off of our motherfucking culture. You know that. You've made money off our culture. Let's be real.
100%.
You've made money off our culture. White musicians, all of them have made money off of black culture. All of rock, all of jazz motherfuckers, all the shit we created from the oppression and the abuse and the rape and the putting down of us. We create blues, jazz, rock and roll, reggae, ska. We invent all of that shit. And to top it off, we invent all the shit that you all use. From the video game cartridge, Henry Lawson, We got the pacemaker, Otis Boynton. We have the late Dr. Bath, who created the laser eye surgery. We have Dr. Gladys, who's still alive, who's almost 80 years old, who created GPS.
So, like I said, most everything that we had invented, if we owned the patent, they would have been looking at us as God. If they will be looking at us as the God that we are. Because most of all the stuff we built. So we built all that stuff. Why we don't have nothing to show for? Because they think that they are entitled of everything that we have. Look at the football field. The NFL, 90% of black men playing pro football. But we don't We don't own none of the stadiums. We don't own none of the stadiums. Most all what you see right now was built off of our back, our sweat, our blood. But the minute when we get it, the kinker worms, the palmer worms, the locusts, and the caterpillars, they come and take it. And the minute when you have something to say about it, they either gonna sit there and have a mob to come, our own people, to tear you down in prison or 6 feet under. Because they was taught that everything that we had belongs to them. That's why I hate when I see, and hate is a very strong word. I hate when I see how we can make so many videos a day. So many videos a day of tearing down each other and knowing who's behind that. We don't touch who's behind the curtains. We don't touch the master puppet masters. We don't touch them. But we quick to put our foot on our own people. But we also have to take accountability. Trust me, when it comes to Kanye West, you don't get a look. You have to take accountability as well. Because we already know what we getting into. He already knew when it came to the Kardashians. People already had told them. Everyone that connects with the Kardashians look like bad luck happens. He knew that, but we likes to test. We likes to provoke God. We likes to live on the edge, think that we are untouchable. He knew exactly what he was getting into. Why would he even want to connect with a Kardashian, especially when it came to Kim? Why? When he already knew everything about her. Like I said, half of the people that we gets involved in is nothing but plants. Nothing but plants. And she knew. And like I say, this is my opinion. This is how I see in the spirit. All this right here is a spiritual attack. Once she had the babies, she had the upper hand. He even said that he didn't even want any child. But she knew. Once she started getting babies, then after that, I already knew. Go and watch the videos if I didn't take it down. I had like 500 videos, went and took it down. I knew once she started having the babies, then she wouldn't stay with him no more than maybe 1 or 2 years. She would be in court for child support. And most likely the judge would throw the book at Kanye West and give her everything that she wanted, which they did. But you guys know that. But we still falling in the same trap. Nothing new is under the sun. Like I said, the devil is only going to give you what you desire, which is tempting you the most. And he put all that in the way. That's why it says in the Bible, all is vanity. Don't you know the devil came before he was called Satan? He was called Lucifer, one of the bright and morning stars. They say was one of the beautiful angels. They will always come appealing to you, but inwards, they are raven wolves. And that's why the Most High God does not see us from the outer appearance, but he judges us from the heart. So if you see your arm is causing you to fall in temptation, cut it off. Your eye, pluck it out. And I'm saying spiritually. But all that stuff right there is just put in your way as a trap so they can continue taking out of your community. And by us don't have leaders. Because every time when we rise up, They always come and they tear it down because they don't want to see the black man rise. They don't even want to hear the black man calling himself the Messiah because they know who the black man is, but you don't know. Because if you knew who you was, you were protected, you were guarded, but you don't know who you are because we have this European mindset. I wanted to even talk about when it comes to Jasmine Crockett. I wanted to talk about Jasmine Crockett. Like I said, why are we fighting for something that's already ours when the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof? It's all ours anyway. I didn't listen, but they said when it comes to Cory Booker, he had a 25-hour speech, one of the longest speech in Congress. Now, the last time when I used to go to school, they said that the average, uh, span, especially when it's memory, it's like no longer than 15 minutes. After that, we just one going in one ear and coming out the other ear. And do you think that these people really was soaking in and taking notes? No. Do you think that just because you come in and you curse and you tell these people all that it frightens them? No. Like I said, the only thing that's going to work for them is the same blueprint that was already laid from our forefathers. What did the late Malcolm X say? Start doing for yourself. Stop worrying about sitting at these people's table or sitting under the table and allowing them to throw us a few crumbs in are there when we could own the entire house. Everything is programmed, guys. Like I say, when it comes to the system is not messed up. The system is only doing what the system is designed to do. Look how just that one day when we said that we was not even going to support Target, how the stock market went down. Like I said, we got the power. We got the power. Don't let no one tell you that you don't have the power. We got the power. And you might sit there and say, well, D, tell us what the power. Tell us what the solution is. Start doing for yourselves. Start uniting and mobilizing. Start pouring into your own community. Because the only thing that's going to get these people riled up, and that's money. The love of money, which is the root of all evil. Money is the only thing that will make you sell your soul. Stand on the corner. The love of money. And that's why in this season right here, the dollar is declining. Where now God is raising up an army where they're going to crush it. But yet we still breaking our neck for it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like I said, in this season right here, we have to be good stewards when it comes to our money. Every time when we get an inch, every time we get something, especially when it comes to our brothers, these athletes, they love the athletes. They have the plants right there. Go and marry them. I can pull that PDF right now where it was a senator, which they went ahead and unlive him. He was a J senator, where he went ahead and he revealed it all. They don't mind to have their women to marry a black man. They don't mind. And it's not being racist. This is not being racist at all. They don't mind because they know 9 out of 10 that white woman is not going to stay with that black man no more than 1 or 2 years. And if she stayed longer, and God forbid something happened to him, where you think the money is going to go? It's going to go back to them. Like I said, all this right here is a part of the system. Ain't nothing new. The blueprint was already laid out. But we still sitting there thinking that, oh, we smarter. Oh, we can do it better. Just because you in Congress, you know, you can talk and, you know, you can curse these people out. These people are just laughing at you. That does not sit there and move those people. Why are we trying to fit where we are not welcome? When we already know that Satan's kingdom is about to come down anyway. But why are we crying and trying to beat in the doors when all we have to do is sit there and start organizing and mobilizing and start building our own house? Start raising up our own Jesse root, which means planting our own seed. Somebody come and water it. Then the Most High God is going to come and do the increase. Amen. But we program. We are no different than our forefathers, which was supposed to be at least a 14-year, not a 14-day, not year, 14-day journey. We had supposed to be in the wilderness no more than 14 days, end up 400 years. And now we've been in bondage for 419 years because we don't want to change our mindset. Everything is dealing with the mind. Everything is dealing with the mind. You change your mind. Change the way that you think. And I promise you, you're going to know who you are. You're going to know the God that's in you. Scholar says, I knew you and I see eyes to eyes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Not too many people can say that. Because like I said, this is only for a remnant. Only for a remnant. Not too many people going to see this. Not everybody going to be able to cross over. This is only for a remnant. A remnant is just like a piece of thread hanging under your garment. Just a small patch of people. In the book of Revelation, when they sat there and they tried to revise our story where they put 144,000. Okay, we'll go with the 144,000. That's the little small remnant that's going to wake up. But like I said, we got the power, guys. We got the power. All we have to do is sit there and start pouring into our own community. Stop worrying about these people. That's material stuff. You cannot build a solid foundation off of material possession. That's like building a house on sinking sand. Start pouring into your community. Start building up your own community where we can have our own banks. Yes, we can do it. If our forefathers did it back then with Wall Street and all different other cities we had, and they came and they destroyed it because ours was doing better. Because they know who we are. They couldn't have never pulled it off without us. Because they are only our lower self. They are only our shadow. They couldn't exist without us. But we think that, we the lowest of the totem pole. No, we're not. We are above and not beneath because of who we are. And it's our birthrights. And we keep selling our birthrights for a bowl of beans. And that's why the son is going to be the judge. And I'm not talking about the SON. I'm talking about the SUN. We are God and goddesses, melanated God and goddesses. And the sun is going to be the judge, going to separate the sheep from the goats, the wheat from the tare. When we go out there, our skin glows. We don't burn. And if we do, like I said there and say, that must be the other side. But we glow. We don't get blisters and bruise up. Like I say, this is not being racist. It's time for us to get back what's rightfully ours. Get back what's rightfully ours. They have benefit enough. They have benefit enough. But when I see Kanye West and how he's running to Japan, I think it's Japan or China. But let's go ahead and do a little history of that. Like I said, the black man has nowhere to lay his head up. The black man has nowhere to lay his head until he wake the hell up and realize that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I'm going to tell you something that you may have not heard before. And if you ask me where I get it from, I get it straight from the throne room. So if you want to chew it, you chew it. If you want to spit it out, you spit it out. But this is for a small remnant. He that have an ear, let him hear. When it comes to the beast, we look at as if it's the Europeans. They just the ones that you put it in their hands and they're going to go and they're going to run with it. But the real beast that was in the book of Revelation is China. It was China that made those pow-pows. And you know what pow-pows, because like I said, this might be our platform, but our channel, but it's not our house. It was China that made those pow-pows, that made the gunpowder and put it in the Europeans' hands. Let me say it again. It was China, which China makes just about everything. Everything that we got today, China made. So in the 1500s, China made the gunpowder. And once it got into the Europeans' hands, how it got in it, I don't know. Now, maybe how I saw it in my spirit, that China put it there, knowing that when you put it in evil hands, people that's trigger happy, what they was going to go and do, which they did. So the assignment, and they did exactly what China thought they was going to do. Okay. So when I heard that Kanye West was going to China or Japan, I was sitting there saying, they are the ones that put the pow-pows in the Europeans' hands, and now the Europeans can't take it out of their hands. They look at, when it comes to guns, they look at it as their Bibles. That's how they was able to win the war. The Europeans won the war the minute when they got the pow-pows in their hands. And we think that it's been hundreds of years ago. No. That's why I said there and say, our people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. All this happened maybe in the 1800s or the early 1900s. The pow-pows was invented in the 1500s. The minute when King James went and chopped up the Bible, revised it to justify the detestable stuff that they was going to do, then they was able to control us with the pow-pows. Our people was kicking butts right here, what we call the United States. We was kicking butts. And because of the detestable stuff that they had done to our people, it made us forget. Just like, remember the movie Roots. Kuta Kinte, he knew who he was, but they kept beating him until he said he was Toby. So we forgot who we are. But we've been here from the four corners of this earth. And I'm not going to keep quenching the spirit. Now, how they got here, I don't know. But I know they are our Lord's self. But go and fact check for yourself. It was China that was the ones that put the pow-pows in the Europeans' hands. And once they got the pow-pows in their hands, they came out of the cave that they were off the Caucasus Mountains. And that's how they was able to put us flat on our face. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. Stylist says, I knew you. She says, I can't wait for my husband to come home and replay this back for him, because he know that this is my conversation every day, all day. My clients, my friends, and my family, we don't need a seat at the table. Absolutely. Nobody but God. Nobody but God. Nobody but God. Nobody but God. Like I said, this generation right here, he said, in the last days, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, sons and daughters. But I'm here to tell you right now, guys, the clock has struck 0. So don't get ready, be ready, because you never know when the thief is going to come. And I talk about it all the time. The thief is not going to sit there and say, hey, stylist, I'm coming and I'm robbing your house. No, the thief is just going to show up. So like I said, it's time for us to put the whole armor of God on. Put the full armor on. Don't leave out half-cocked. Because this is a Joshua generation that have said enough is enough. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, stylist. Thank you very much, country girl. Thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, this is only for a little small remnant. But our job is to go and tell it to them anyhow. Just like he said in the book of Ezekiel. He said, you go and you warn the people and tell them, because they are stiff-necked people. Their hearts are wax cold. But at least one thing that we know, the blood is off our hands. But I got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Pray for your brothers, because we already know exactly what they went through. And we already know who's behind all this right here. Go and pull the PDF up of this senator, how he exposed how these people would even pay millions, even if they got to pay billions, to entertainers. Those rappers that you see out there acting a plum fool, they have signed their life away. The power that be had put them under a ironclad contract to do what you see that they are doing right now. They will pay them millions of dollars to go on stage to act a plum fool, because what they are trying to do is they trying to get other sheeps to sit there and sponge off of all that mess. If they can get the younger generation. That's why I was upset when it came to Jasmine Crockett, when I saw she had this actress, what's her name, Megan Good, on. If I see a politician and actors or celebrities together, that's a turnoff for me. That's a turnoff for me. Even Malcolm X talked about that before. Using celebrities. That's pandering. I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see that anymore. But I want you guys to go and do your research. Go and do your research of everything that I said. And if you have anything to correct me that I am wrong, call me out. But all this information is out there. It's just how far that you are willing to dig for this information. But when it comes to Kanye West, when he put on that KK outfit, our United States of America right now is still sitting there funding it through a 501c3, and that's Real Talk. So when my girl says another great live, Unapologetic Real Talk, thanks everyone for coming over. Stay safe, stay prayed up, and God bless you all. And thank you very much, Country Girl, and all that you have poured into me. I pray that God will multiply it unlimited, shaking together and running over. And thank you right now, stylist. Thank you for having an ear to hear, because our people must hear this right here, because the kingdom of heaven suffer violence, and we got to take it by force. The kingdom of heaven suffering violence, and we got to take it by force. And that's Real Talk. So he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. You all be blessed.